November 18th, 2017. Let me see if I got this straight. Years ago, our attorney, who's been trying to collect the $1.2 million that Joe owes us, thought that his violent threats against me were real enough that she reached out to the U.S. Assistant Attorney, who agreed. She sent it to the FBI, who started watching Joe, but never did anything else that I could tell. On or about November 6th or 7th, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Special Agent Matt is investigating Joe on an unrelated matter and comes across an imminent conspiracy to have me murdered. So Matt calls the FBI and tells them. The FBI contacts Heather Hintz, our attorney, and maybe through the U.S. Assistant Attorney, to tell me to stay out of the open. I install 2 more security cameras at our house and start watching my rearview mirror all the time to see if I'm being followed. By November 15th, I'm feeling trapped and anxious because I'm unable to ride my bike 5 miles each way to the sanctuary and home every day. Howie talks to Matt to see if he can suss out how imminent they really think this is. He learns that the hired assassin is in Oklahoma, and Matt says they are watching him. The U.S. Assistant Attorney says that I should stay in hiding, but Matt seems to think he will know when the killer is headed this way. I'm ready to go back to life as normal as it gets for me anyway. Matt tells Howie on November 16th that he thinks they are within 24 hours of an arrest. Now it's November 18th, and no word of such yet. We are celebrating our 13th wedding anniversary at the Holiday Inn on Clearwater Beach, and I'm concerned my posts about us at the beach, no places listed, might be enough to have Joe try to burn our house down. So I schedule alert zones on the new cameras that Babylon won't trigger to make sure that he's safe while we are gone. We get a call from Mike Weber. He's working on Catland or You Don't Know Jack or Jacked or Conservation or whatever he decides to call it. He's all excited about a tip I gave him of an ataxic white tiger cub that's been seized in New Orleans and will be headed to Turpentine Creek when it's stable enough to travel. Mike had talked to Carney Ann Nasser, an attorney for the Animal Legal Defense Fund, on another matter, and found out she has access to the cub now. Carney Ann was the person who originally told Mike about this cub, I think. We told him about the cub and told him to call the International Fund for Animal Welfare and Turpentine Creek because we didn't want to swoop in and be the heroes of their story. On the down low, Mike tells us the state police apparently went in to arrest a rapper and his son, and when they arrive, they find this nearly dead white tiger cub and are told that there was a golden sibling that is missing in action. No one is saying what happened to that cub. The police apparently contacted the Louisiana Department of Wildlife, who contacts the International Fund for Animal Welfare, about where to send the cub, and the Animal Legal Defense Fund for an attorney to represent the cub's interest. So, that got me to wondering, did the rapper tell the police that he got the cub from Joe? Is that the case that got the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service involved and how they stumbled upon the plot to kill me? Could that all just be a coincidence? I just never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Last night at the hotel, I went to take a bath, and one of the 4 light bulbs above the sink was flickering. I couldn't reach it, and tried hard to take a bath with my eyes shut. I felt so disoriented by it. I came out and said to Howie, "One of us is autistic, and all of us are going to have a seizure if you can't get that flickering light bulb down." I asked him to wait a while as I'd turned it off for it to cool down, and the next morning I discovered that he had removed the offending flickering bulb. It's nice that he's tall, and even nicer that he gets us. Across from our beachfront hotel is a man-made barrier reef on the island of Sand Key. I reminisced to Howie that when I bought all of the concrete used in Lakeland that now construct so many of our dens and our east wall, that I had sold $70,000 worth to people who used them for building projects and to some government agency that was using them to build artificial reefs. Today I took a 2-hour walk from the hotel over the bridge to Sand Key and then took the trail all the way around the state park. Ticked off 2 areas of fear, heights and bridges, to do it. I came back to the room, heated up a bistro meal, and had a cup of coffee. And then as Howie settled in for a nap, I decided to go for a walk around the beach and beach town. Another couple of hours, with socks this time, as my toes were bleeding. And now I hurt in places I didn't know I had. If you're enjoying my diary, please like, share, and subscribe. You can find other ways to connect to me over at bigcatrescue.org/Carole.Baskin.